And welcome to another episode of the Football Smack Talk Show. I am your host, Ryan.
And I'm Eric.
Welcome, everybody, to another wonderful Monday night. We are going to be talking some Eagles offseason as the offseason is getting underway as we speak, essentially, with the combine, I guess, officially starting tomorrow.
Right.
Um, which, as we all know, anybody who watches our show knows that we absolutely love combine time, and especially this year it seems going to be pretty open, no restrictions, and yeah, it should be a great time to kind of dive into some of these prospects.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. This is my bread and butter. I love this stuff. I love nerding out watching the combine and watching these guys go through all their exercises. This is when all the mock drafts start. This is when I know some of them have already started,
Yeah,
but
there's been only about a million of them, but
this is when you can start to get a feel for what the rest of the NFL is thinking.
yeah, no,
And
100%. So
disinformation season is coming, and I'm excited.
yeah, well, officially looking at the calendar, um, I think the franchise tag deadline is just over a week.
Right.
We'll see quickly in the next week how that goes, who's going to get tagged, who's staying where they're at. I think we can all kind of assume some of the bigger names,
Sure.
like a Devontae Adams,
Yeah,
will
he's the
stay.
exact one I was thinking of. He's
Yeah.
definitely going to get tagged.
So, unfortunately, as much as we all would love to have Devontae Adams here, um, but yeah, it's with
Yeah.
the combine going and the franchise tagging, the official start of free agency is March the 14th as the 48-hour window of legal tampering starts. Which I still at this point I don't understand why we still have this. Why not just make it the date and just go from there? Uh,
Right.
Considering it's not really tampering if it's legal. I don't know. That's just always sat weird with me that we
Well,
continue.
what they hated was the announcement of the league year, and then right away guys get signed. It's like, okay, clearly you've already been talking.
Right.
And so we're trying to make a little grace period where everybody can talk to everybody. Nobody has to commit and put pen to paper.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you, but if it's not going to stop anybody who wants to talk to somebody, in some fashion,
Well, like for example, like Frank Gore had famously
the legend.
commit. I know who had this long into the program before we started talking about the Frank Gore situation. Yeah, who had 7 minutes 57 seconds before we started talking
Yeah,
about him?
yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So obviously Frank Gore had committed to signing with the Eagles. Then changed his mind because we were in that window. Now, if we didn't have that window, Frank Gore signs with the Eagles. Yeah, tough.
Hey, you put pen to paper, that's it.
Yeah,
There's no going back on that. So, um,
exactly. That's why they created this window. Guys could negotiate. Guys could talk, but nobody could put pen to paper. And I love that.
yeah, I mean, there's certainly some, some pluses and some minuses for this, but either way, we actually are going to be doing a live broadcast. Eric, do you want to tell the folks a little bit about what we're doing, when we're doing, and where we're doing?
Yeah, Saturday night we are doing our first off-season roundtable for the start of free agent period, and we are going to be at one of my favorite watering holes, the Berwyn Tavern, right
Oh,
on Route 30 in Berwyn, as you can imagine with that name. But
yeah. So yeah, if anybody wants to come out and grab a few beers, talk a little free agency, please come on out. As you said, the Berwyn Tavern in Berwyn. We're going to be going live at 7 o'clock. We'll be there super early, so you're more than welcome to kind of come early and hang out with us, chill. So we'll have some of our friends around, and who knows, maybe some surprise guests on the program. Yeah, I don't think it's just going to be us two. So,
Okay.
we'll see who joins us. But and this goes out, for anybody watching right now. So, we're super excited. Love. We haven't been out doing a live broadcast, obviously, with everything going on.
Yeah,
In
excited. I don't have to wear a mask at work anymore. I'm really stoked. And we're gonna get out amongst the people.
I apologize. I forgot to tell you, masks are required during the broadcast.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
I just figured you wanted to put a mask on my.
No. If anything, I would put a paper bag over your head, but yeah. But that's just me. I mean, who knows? But yeah. So this Saturday, March the 5th. We're going to be live at 7:00 from the Berwyn Tavern. So we're super excited about that. We'll be posting reminders throughout the week for everybody who wants to come on out. But yeah, so basically what we do during these roundtables is we basically break down free agency. We not only, obviously talk about the Eagles, but we talk about the names that are going to be available. And, granted, there'll still be some time for franchise tagging, but we'll give you the names, we'll give you the positions, especially what the Eagles are looking for, and specifically who the Eagles may be targeting, just based on the information that's already out there and will be kind of out there. But as Eric had said previously, a lot of misinformation going around, and let me tell you, what you hear in the upcoming days may not be what happens in 2 weeks. So,
right, yeah, buckle up, everybody.
Yes. So, we'll go all over it. Let you know what the Eagles need to focus on, and again, it'll be really telling what positions they go after in free agency leading up to the draft, which will maybe give you an insight of where they're actually going to go for those first round picks, all three of them. Say if they go ahead and get a couple of wide receivers, you could pretty much assume that that's out.
Right.
Maybe if they actually go out and get a linebacker, maybe they won't go out and get a linebacker.
Either way, they probably won't get a linebacker.
Yeah, either way, they won't. And crush my dreams once again, as they're known to do.
Now, I know I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here, and I'm sure I know what the answer is going to be, but I know I was hoping we'd do a mock draft special, like maybe another round table right before the draft, and then maybe we go on air during draft. Would you be in for that?
Yeah, I'm always down for that. And
I figured I knew the answer, but I wanted to throw it out there.
We'll absolutely be doing, a mock draft here and there, as the draft, which is in Vegas this year, which would be pretty darn cool to get out there. But
yeah, something tells me that's not in either of our budgets.
No, it's not. My budget is bread sandwiches right now.
Yeah, I do check with my accountant, but I'm fairly certain that will have been shot down.
Unless we want to start like a GoFundMe and the people can get us out there, that'd be great.
Oh man, that'd be great. We should definitely start that at the Berwyn Tavern Saturday.
Yeah.
I actually feel like we could get some collections for that.
Oh,
hey.
How are ya? What? You? Okay, I'm sorry, buddy. I really hope nobody heard any of that.
What did you say?
I'd rather not repeat it.
Oh boy.
I'll let you know on there.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, the joys of fatherhood. Oh man, that's too funny. Trying to compose myself after that one.
Kid.
Oh man. Anyway, so we'll be talking a lot about free agency a little bit tonight. Certainly not going into the crazy detail as we will on Saturday. And obviously we'll be talking about the draft tonight. So if you're out there, you have a specific player or position that you really want the Eagles to go after, whether it be free agency, whether it be the draft, shoot us a comment right now. We love talking to everybody live on air. So feel free to shout us out. And we'll talk live on air here through the comments. So anyway, so speaking of, I think the first thing that we do when we start to do a preview of the offseason is you really try to hone in on your top 3 needs.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say right now, going into free agency? We're not talking draft. I'm just talking free agency here. What do you think the Eagles' top 3 needs are currently?
I would definitely say, and because we're talking free agency, and this is where I'd like to see them address this position, the wide receiver group. If we're going to make an evaluation on Jalen Hurts, and I know we talked ad nauseum last offseason about making the evaluation at the end of this year, and I remember saying at the time, we don't have to make that evaluation at the end of this year. We can even kick that into next year, which next year is here. If we're going to make that evaluation, I'd like to see us get another weapon for Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to say the wide receiver group as one position of need. The other position, one of the other 2 positions of need, obviously has got to be, and this will be music to your ears, the linebacker position.
Hello. Woo, 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 woo.
And the number 3 position, I would say defensive back. Okay. And there's 4 spots to fill, 4 positions that can fill 3 spots. The reason why I went with cornerback or defensive back as opposed to defensive end is just how deep this upcoming draft is at edge pass rusher.
Yeah.
And I think that's a position where you want to get younger at. Like, if any of the positions that I feel like that are positions of need, because I feel like there are 4, and the 4th being that defensive end, and that's the position that I feel most needs to get younger. So that's why I'm putting that one on the back burner till the draft.
Okay. Now, specifically defensive backs, I'm gonna
primarily cornerback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's. I'll just it's at the corner.
I was going to see if I could be vague and lump the corner and safety, but I appreciate your tenacity. I should have known.
No vagueness here, unfortunately, in the Philly Sports Alliance. Wow, my house is apparently.
Is your house falling down?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's just one of those days.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a crack out of what he told me.
Oh, nice.
I'm so thankful he whispered that. My God.
Oh boy.
We would have had to end the show. We would literally, and you'll absolutely agree with me once you're here. All right. So my biggest, or my 3 top needs heading into free agency, I'm going to go number 1 linebacker.
Well, obviously.
Not only just because I do love my linebackers, but Alex Singleton and TJ Edwards should not be your starting 2 linebackers. They are serviceable. They can do a decent job, but you need someone who's going to be able to go sideline to sideline, or you're going to be able to need to have somebody who is amazing in coverage or amazing run stopper or a rusher.
Sure.
I don't think we have any of those in TJ Edwards and Alex Singleton. I think they do a lot of little things above average, but when you put it all together, they don't make above average linebackers. And that needs to change. And I know, we haven't drafted anybody since 1979, yada, yada, yada. I still think you need to go out and not only get yourself a free agent linebacker, and there certainly are plenty to be had out there.
Something tells me we'll discuss those names on Saturday night.
We will absolutely be getting into a lot of those names on Saturday night. But I also feel like you need to draft either one of the top 2 linebackers that are coming into the first round, whomever may end up falling. I think it's imperative. I think it could absolutely change this defense in such an impactful way. And you also say that you didn't put defensive end or anything on the line for that matter.
Right.
Top needs. Um, Again, I think it's a similar situation like linebacker that you need to get multiple players. Now, don't give me. We can all assume that Brandon Graham's coming back and he'll be fine. But again, another year older, another
Sure.
major injury. That
Well,
needs.
that's why I put the emphasis on getting younger
Oh,
there.
sure.
Yeah.
But you also have Derek Barnett, who clearly is not coming back. The
Yeah,
most
he's gotta
paralyzed defensive end in the league. So
Mhm.
I'm going to go with defensive end as my number 2 most important because I feel like you need to get yourself someone impactful, and then you also need to get yourself somebody young and can grow and take over for Brandon Graham. You
Mhm.
essentially need or sign somebody to be that other starting defensive end, and then you're going to need to draft somebody to not only be the number 3 man, rotation, with Sweat and whatnot, but you're going to need to have that person to take over for Brandon Graham. So again, I think defensive end is my number 2, and my third is going to be corner as well.
So you don't want to address the wide receiver position. Well, I mean, I know you want to, but that's
I know. Yes, I absolutely want to. I absolutely want to. I just think draft wise,
Mhm.
when you're looking at the draft and looking where our top picks are, Stingley, Gardner, those guys are most likely going to be gone by the time
Yeah.
the Eagles draft, and those two are seem to be the clear tier, top tier corners. Now,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. There's plenty of other guys out there. There's a kid from Washington. There's a kid from Clemson. There's a couple other names that could be in the mix.
Sure.
Excuse me. And don't get me wrong. I would be more than happy to draft one of them.
Mhm.
I just again think it's a situation where all right, Nelson doesn't look like he's coming back. You're gonna need to go ahead and try and sign somebody to be that starter and then hopefully draft one of these second tier guys to come in,
Right.
fight for some minutes, and eventually kind of get in the mix there.
Mhm.
Do I think that's the Eagles might do that? I don't know. I don't know if they'll go for a top like tier type corner when it comes to free agency. Again, I'm not really even sure, who may be kind of available corner wise.
I'm sure we'll get into that Saturday.
Well, we absolutely will. But as far as I can kind of tell, I think the best one might be J.C. Jackson from New England.
Mhm.
Possibility he gets franchised. There's the kid from Tampa Bay's there, Davis. Um, God, I'm trying to Casey Hayward again, a little older. So you have some people out there, but nobody that's you're going to be like, oh snap, we just signed blah 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 blah. So I still think that you probably need to get somebody there to maybe even if it's on a 1 year deal to be that
Mhm.
other starter, kind of like what they did last year with Nelson. And you're still going to need to draft somebody that's going to eventually need to take over and run with Slay.
Right.
So I have to assume that defense for free agency and draft. And depending on what they do, that might allow them to open up and maybe draft a wide receiver in the first round or an
Mhm.
offensive line. Because number 4 for me is wide receiver. Number 3 or number 5 is interior offensive line.
Yeah, agreed.
So I would again if they don't sign a corner, I'm fine. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Number 4 is wide. I'll give you a wide receiver. Number 5 is safety
Okay.
because just given the fact that both of our starting safeties are free agents, yeah, it might just be easy to sign one of them, sign 2 of them, whatever.
Right.
But still, it's something that we need to focus on as well. Yeah, we all would love Kyle Hamilton to come here, but there's no way he's
No
getting
way he's
top
falling.
10.
Yeah.
So I think that dream's kind of over, as much as I would have loved to have him here. It's something that we're going to have to address probably in the second and third round, safety, regardless.
Yeah.
I think, what we do in free agency. But to me, as much as I would love a wide receiver, and again, it's something that I think that they will address. They'd be dumb if they didn't bring in at least a veteran to kind of not only help with the youth on the wide receiver core, but you need a number two.
Yeah, right now, who would you say is your number 2 wide receiver?
As much as Watkins is probably your second best wide receiver, but I'd
Right.
really love to keep him at the 3 in the slot.
And they're talking about using Rager in the slot, and I mean, I think you're going to have to try to find ways to get creative with Rager and try to use him. Because look, I know a lot of people want to run him out of town. He's not going anywhere. With the way he's contracted, he's not going anywhere.
No, not right now.
Yeah. You got to hold on to him for one more year.
Yeah. We can pretty much hope that Jay Jal is out.
Oh, God, please.
I don't think his special team skills will be enough to keep him around.
And look, you know me. I always scream for the special teamers. Yeah. JJ Arcega-Whiteside is more like.
Not for Umbrella Man.
Yeah.
He out. So.
He gone.
Greg Ward could be gone as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
This could be a completely new look. I mean, think about it. If you're pretty much locked in with Smith, Rager, and Watkins. Everybody else, there's no guarantees.
Oh, absolutely not.
Greg Ward could be gone. Hightower's probably gone. Jay John most definitely gone. And then whoever practice squad or whatever. But they're probably going to have to go ahead and get probably, 2 to 3 wide receivers at least if they really want to,
But is this I feel like every position that the Eagles need to address, they need multiple guys at that position.
I mean, we just mentioned it. We mentioned linebacker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want them to sign somebody and draft somebody. I want two.
Yeah, I feel like you said that about every category.
Defensive end, I want them to sign somebody and draft somebody.
Sign somebody, yeah.
Defensive tackle, I definitely think they should sign and draft somebody. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, and look, I'm okay.
Cox isn't getting any younger. We don't know how long Cox has on this squad.
Right.
Everybody says, "Oh, we could trade him. We could trade him." Granted, I wouldn't right now just because of the cap hit. Would be
no, absolutely not.
You let Cox ride it out with Hargrave, but after that. Who do you got? Ridgeway? Come on. You need to get a Cox replacement, and you need to get some depth. So I would absolutely sign kind of a 2-3 tier type player that could be a nice rotation with a rookie and have that 4-man rotation in the defensive tackle unit.
And that rookie, he could be like a project. He could be a guy, third, even fourth round.
100%. I mean, listen, and not saying that, who the Eagles have right now, they couldn't take one of those guys and use them in the rotation, but
right.
Still, I just looking at this squad, I mean, we just signed Renell Wren, who could be impactful. You don't know.
Sure.
But there is a reason why he was available, as I always like to say. And then just looking, outside of Cox and Hargrave, I mean, you don't have a lot of, of players going on there. I mean, obviously, like I said, you have Hassan Ridgeway. A nice player, but come on, we can absolutely upgrade that. Right? I mean, you have what's the rookie from USC, Teopulutu, however you pronounced it.
Yeah, him.
You have the new addition Wren. You have I mean, the only other player is Milton Williams.
Yeah.
Which again I do like. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I
do
like him.
Williams. I just think, okay. I just think you're going to need to get some more depth in there, and you're going to need to replace Cox. And let's be honest, you don't know how much what's his face is going to give you. Hargrave. I mean, he is still relatively young, isn't he?
I think so.
Oh no, he's like 29.
Oh, okay.
Okay, wow. Well, eventually you're going to need to replace him too, but that's
sure.
Future problems.
So I mean, eventually, they're going to have to replace me on here somewhat. And I'm sure you're already working on that.
Yeah. Dylan, fan of the rookie corners, says Sauce Gardner and Smoke Monday. My dream scenario. Imagine the secondary with Slay, Smoke, and Sauce. Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be pretty sexy. Yeah.
I think if somehow again, there's 1,000,001 mock drafts. Some have Gardner going in the top 10. Some have him fallen to 20. If he's available,
you absolutely have to take him.
I mean, we have what? 15,
16, and
19.
Yeah.
If Gardner and say Dean is there, that should be your 15, 16. I think the both of us would.
We would have to be restrained.
We would absolutely have to be restrained because you get a guy, I get a guy. We're both.
Everybody gets a guy.
Everybody gets a guy. I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah.
Like I said, if they draft a linebacker, I'm going to do a backflip and break my neck. But
got 911 already dialed.
And then 19, again, maybe you go and get an edge or a wide receiver.
Oh man, that would be insane.
Right. It would be an absolute home run if you would get Gardner and one of those two linebackers. Oh my God. I don't even want to think about it. It's too much. You're absolutely right. That would be dream scenario. And as far as, Smoke Monday, he's Auburn, right?
Yeah.
Auburn, right? Yeah. I've been hearing nothing but great things from him. I'm not sure exactly where he's being drafted or mock drafted, if you will.
Right.
I would assume not in the first round, but still, that would be a nice second rounder. I would prefer to trade for a Watson or a Russ, but so unlikely to happen. Agreed.
Sure.
So I'm going to go all defense and signing one of A-Rob, Mike Williams, Godwin, and free agency. Listen, Dylan,
love that scenario. Love that.
I mean, honestly, this could be one of the most impactful offseasons in the longest time for the Eagles. Just given the money they have, the draft capital, and Dylan says Smoke is roughly mid-third. All right, third round, let's do it. I'm good. I've seen some tape on him. I've seen some tape on him, and he does look like he'd be an upgrade over who we have as far as obviously outside of our starters. Just given the fact that we don't really have much depth in the safety position.
Right.
but anyway, yeah. I mean, listen, if you can go ahead and you get a corner like Gardner, you get a linebacker like, say, Dean, or the kid from Utah. And then in the third pick, you get a defensive end or a wide or a wide receiver. You pair that with signing somebody like Williams or Godwin or even Robinson.
Sure.
You combine that, your wide receiver room is Devontae Smith, one of those three free agents. Let's say I don't know, the other kid from Alabama, Williams. Or whoever, kid from USC, whatever. There's a couple of options. So you have a second year, you have a rookie, you have a vet. Then you have Watkins, and then you have Rager, who now there's literally no pressure on him. And who knows what could happen there? Maybe he says, all right, well, they're not expecting shit from me. I'm just going to go and do whatever I can, right?
Sure.
Those are your top five.
I would love
those are your 5 wide receivers.
Yeah, I would love a scenario where they try to use Rager. Now, don't attack me for comparing him to this guy. I'm not saying he's that good, but like use him in kind of a Deebo Samuel role where you try to use him with some carries out of the backfield. You try I'm just saying, like getting him the ball in open space is something that I really like. I like that idea for Rieger.
I hear you, and I feel like they tried it a little bit, but they didn't really commit to it. And
right. So if you're gonna do it, then let's do it.
Listen, I'd be fine for that. I would be honestly fine for that because he does have talent. He does have speed. There's just something missing, and
it's got to come together now, or it's not going to come together.
Well, exactly. This is his last chance, I would assume. So, but that would be your 5 wide receivers. You keep Greg Ward if you want, if you're going 6.
Woo!
Yeah, woo. But then, looking at it, you even if you don't sign a linebacker, you then have Dean in this situation.
Right.
You have Edwards and Singleton, and those are your top 3 linebackers. I would be much, much happier with that, right?
Sure.
You
get Kobe Dean in the deal. Hell yeah, I'm in for that.
Go into your corners. You have Slay and you have Gardner in this situation. You're probably pretty good with Maddox in the slot, right?
Oh yeah, I like Maddox in the slot.
Then really you just got to figure out what you're doing at safety. And in our other scenario, we went ahead and we're probably going to have to sign a defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't, let's just say we don't address the defensive end position in the first round nor in free agency, right?
Okay.
Your starters are Brandon Graham and Josh Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Sweat, again, has always been touted as, only you just need more time.
Well, eventually time's going to run out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He needs to get on the field more. His efficiency, when he's out there, he's wreaking havoc. All right, well, this is your season to figure that out then.
Cool, then get out there, wreak some freaking
right. And with maybe second or third round defensive end, because again, as you said, it's a pretty deep defensive end class. That would work, right?
Sure.
Your defense and your offense absolutely transformed. You could again sign an interior offensive lineman for some more depth purposes. And
and if you
figure out who's the number 2 tight end. That's it.
Yeah.
I think it's not that difficult to absolutely hit a home run this offseason. Dylan, again, what's the free agency market look like for defensive end? We know how he likes to be aggressive when it comes to the D line. Dylan, you're absolutely right. Defensive end, there's actually a couple of decent ones. Well, I guess they're just calling them edge rushers now.
Sure.
There's some older vets, Von Miller, Chandler Jones, Jadeveon Clowney, Randy Gregory. I think the last 2 are under 30. You have Hassan Reddick, who's more of a linebacker, but again is considered an edge. You have Emmanuel Ogbah from Miami, who I really, really like. He's 28.
Mm-hmm.
You have, again, Harold Landry is considered an edge, even though he's really a linebacker, although I love him. Melvin Ingram, again, older, 33. Let's see. Trying to see if there's anybody else that sticks out. A couple of old guys, Justin Houston, Jerry Hughes, Charles Harris from Detroit. He's 27 relatively. Okay. Age-wise. Yeah, that's about it. So outside of the top guys,
a lot of good rotational guys, though.
There's 100% somebody in there would be nice to kind of, fit in. But, unfortunately, you're either going to go with, again, as the Eagles have been, kind of that older vet D end. You assume Kerrigan's out of here, obviously. It was a disaster. But, again, maybe you bring in somebody, like, I don't know. I would personally love Akba from Miami. I think he comes in as your absolute starter, opposite of Graham. And then you can still use Sweat in the rotation. And then, go ahead and draft some rookie in the second or the third or the fourth, whatever, and be the fourth in the rotation. That's probably what it would, for me, would be kind of more the realistic ideal scenario.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. Like, signing an Agba, like that would be amazing. That'd be a great signing.
Yeah.
And then just drafting somebody in maybe the middle rounds to fill out the rest of your rotation.
And don't get me wrong, I would love to have Chandler Jones here.
Oh, sure.
Again, I just think for the position, if we're going to try and get a starter, I'd rather have a younger starter. Don't get me wrong, Chandler Jones would be immensely impactful, but
sure. He's also going to cost a lot of money and he's old.
Yes. Exactly. So, as we kind of, go forward, I wanted to talk about some of those linebackers, not getting into too much detail, but as I said, Hassan Reddick, Harold Landry, those are two dudes that I would absolutely love here. And if you combine them with one of those two rookies, your linebacker goes from the linebacking core goes from one of the worst positions on your team to one of the best in a mere moment. Just getting a competent starter in one of those two guys, and then adding one of those rookies. So essentially, you could finally say goodbye to somebody like Singleton. Or, again, if you're just going to keep the four of them and then screw everybody else, Edwards, Singleton, rookie, one of those free agents.
Right.
Facts. Howie likes that Chris Long type to plug in. I'm fine with your scenario because I'd rather spend top money at wide receiver. Agreed. Plus, I feel like the value is more there in wide receiver. And we already know Howie is trading one of the top picks back out of the first round. You might be right on that one because it's something we've actually been
calling for that since October.
I was going to say, Eric, you've been saying something like this for the last couple of months that it wouldn't. And in fact, before there was that report that kind of came out and said like, oh, hey, this actually might happen. You had said long ago that you could see a scenario where the Eagles would trade one of their first round picks to next year to get into having an extra first round pick next year.
Yes.
Because not only, is the quarterback market draft wise going to be much, much better. And it kind of almost is like, hey, we're going to give Hurts that year, but here's a little insurance.
Because we're still thinking maybe he's not the guy. And exactly. Second full season, you're still saying, well, gosh, I don't know. You do know.
Yeah.
Because if after the second full season, you're not all in on him, then it's time to cut bait.
It's a little bet insurance to give your, again, they did rather well, trading to, for this year, obviously, getting the extra picks. So, again, you trade with a team that you think, hey, listen, like, wouldn't it be great? Maybe they slip. Maybe they have an off year or whatever, and you end up with a nice draft pick go along with your own draft pick, and say Captain Quarterback comes out, and you're like, all right, well, I want to get in the top 5 to get this guy. Boom, here's 2 draft picks.
We got 2 first round picks, and there you are.
They were right in there. So. Listen, that would be, not shocking. I think a lot of people would riot at first just because, we're Eagles fans.
Well, and everybody, we'd be out at a bar and everybody else would be like, what the hell's going on? And you'd see me over there. Yay.
Yeah. Look at Colbert. Woo. Yeah, no, absolutely. So listen, as long as, I think for us, our perfect scenario would be corner and linebacker.
Yes.
And
And
the
trade.
third one, it's like, meh, you do what you want.
The third is my dream scenario is the trade back.
Right. So there
And I
we
will
go.
give you one team that right now, and but then
Jacksonville.
we'll talk more about this as we go. Now, that team being the Detroit Lions, who hold the 32nd pick in the first round. So if you wanted to still stay in the first round, just have the last pick so you still have that extra year control of the player, you could get that one. Or Detroit also owns, I believe it's the 34th pick.
They do.
So you could trade back into the second round and get the 34th pick along with a first rounder next year to drop out of.
I mean, even if you're going from 19 down to 32, that's a pretty steep drop that, could be worth, again, I don't know why. If I was Detroit, I would do that, just knowing that most likely you're going to be a top 5 pick.
Well, if you feel like you need to get your quarterback, like say you get,
yeah, I mean, you're right.
Say you get like Hutchinson,
say Corral, falls.
Right.
And, hey, I mean, I hear you.
Or Malik Willis.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Dylan says, I'm not a Hurts fan at all. It boils down to, can he win us the Super Bowl? The answer is no. But if you can't get a Russ or a Watson, then you have to wait till next year to draft to replace him.
Sure.
Yeah, listen, I think that's what's on everybody's mind is is he the type of quarterback that could win you a Super Bowl? And, I think on the surface, you obviously say no.
Yeah.
But you also look at some of the quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl, and you're like, well, could he just do enough like that guy?
Sure. But then I asked the question, how close are you with your defense?
Well, okay. I'm glad you used that term. How close are you as a team that you feel like you are a quarterback away from competing for the Super Bowl?
Well, the reason why I feel that way is just because I see what a difference an elite level quarterback is. And so like Joe Burrow, would you have said a year ago, hell, would you have said at the beginning of this season that Cincinnati was on the verge of going to the Super Bowl? No. I'd say no, but you got to elite play out of your quarterback position and you got to the Super Bowl. And so that's I use them as an example to say, if Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay, say he works his way out of Green Bay,
he goes.
Where do they fall down in the pecking order?
Yeah,
I'm not talking about Rodgers coming here because I know that's a big
dream.
No. Although I would absolutely love it, I would be all in for getting Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, listen, yes, would that be exciting and fun? But are we looking at our roster outside of the quarterback position versus Green Bay? And many thought that Green Bay were, Super Bowl contending team.
Mm-hmm.
Are you switching rosters right now with Green Bay? Do they have the better roster, or do we, outside of the quarterback position? Yes or no? Who's better outside the quarterback position, Green Bay?
I'd still say Green Bay, probably. Yeah.
Okay. So you're basically taking a quarterback and going on to a lesser roster to then try and compete for a Super Bowl, to which that other team wasn't able to do.
Well, they weren't able to do. I think that was more of a matchup issue with San Francisco. San Francisco just matched up well with Green Bay.
Wow, maybe. Aaron Rodgers doesn't give us an instant jump to Super Bowl contenders. Devontae Smith and Miles Sanders would have Pro Bowl years.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%. They would. Now, Miles Sanders' biggest issue is he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay on the field.
Yeah, definitely has to stay on the field. But listen, I just think that what you're going to have to give up to get one of these quarterbacks is going to impact you more than we think.
Well, it's the gamble. It's
right.
Do what the Rams did: sell all out and go in and try to win.
Right, and I think that's what it's on everybody's mind. The only player that I am willing to give up serious draft capital is Deshaun Watson.
And that's only if you know the legal.
And that's only if I know that everything's cleared and everything's good and he's not going to be suspended for an entire year, or, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Insert, scenarios. I just think Russ, I don't doubt that Russ could come in here and make us Super Bowl contenders. I don't doubt that Aaron Rodgers could as well. I just think that
I think Deshaun Watson could make us Super Bowl favorites.
I think Deshaun Watson could make us Super Bowl contenders, and for years.
Yeah.
The fact that he is so very young, I would be willing to take the hit now to go get Watson, given that he's clear, because you're getting multiple years out of Watson.
Mm-hmm.
That's what and again, if you can keep one of those first round picks and help to address your defense and maybe go heavy on free agency on defense,
right?
All right, then you probably have something for this year, and then you worry about next year trying to replace the age on the team.
Hey, look, you go out there and win a Super Bowl. Are you really worried about? Oh man, now we got to revamp this defense. We gotta,
right. You wouldn't give up 2 firsts and hurts right now for Watson. Right now, I 1,000% would. 100% agree with Rich. Is young and gives us promise for the next 5+ years. That's exactly why I want Watson. That's why I don't want Russ, because again, okay, you know what? Not everybody's Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers that are going to play to their 40, right? It doesn't happen that often. So Russ is what, 32?
Aaron Rodgers is already trying to position himself for life after football.
I mean, but whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
But Russ is what, going to be 33 during the season next year?
Right.
Okay, maybe you get 3 years out of him?
Maybe.
Sean Watson's what?
With the way his body's been beat up, and let's be honest, coming here, it probably will get beat up again. Think of the guys he's going to go against.
Well, but again, they also we have a much better offensive line than that. But all I'm saying is that, listen, if you're gonna tell me Watson's cleared, he's suspended 6 games, whatever.
Yeah, I'll send Gardner Minshew out there for 6 games.
I'll send Gardner Minshew out for 6 games. I will give the 15th and the 19th pick and Jalen Hurts to Houston right now and say, Deshaun Watson, come on in. We're going to use that 16th pick on a linebacker because I'm greedy.
Oh, come on. Can't give me sauce.
All right. Considering, fine. Only if we could sign, a top linebacker, And then fine. Yeah. We'll go sauce. We'll sign Hassan Reddick or whoever, and we'll fill in the gaps here and there. But we also need to sign a wide receiver, and we need to sign Godwin or Williams. I think A-Rob is kind of the second tier of free agent wide receivers, in my opinion. Only just because, again, we just saw what happened. He didn't have a great season. A lot of that was based on probably, something that we're never going to know about. Mm-hmm. But also considering that Robinson's 29, Godwin's 26, I think Williams is 27. Listen, I'd be down for actually I'd be down for any of them. But what I'm saying is,
I was going to say, come on,
if you get Godwin and you get Hassan Reddick and you're drafting Sauce, and you're trading for Deshaun Watson, this is a Super Bowl team.
Let's go.
It's a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah.
Right now, considering Tampa Bay takes a huge step down.
Oh yeah.
Considering that
they're in rebuild mode.
LA sold their farm to get everything that they needed to get. So they have a lot of aging veterans that are free agents coming up. They're going to have a hard time re-signing a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they take a slight step back. And let's be honest, heading into the into the playoffs, I don't think anybody was like, "Oh, the Rams are guaranteed." You know what I mean? They had to fight and claw their way to get there.
Yeah, sure.
So I think and again, if Rodgers leaves Green Bay and goes to Denver, if Russ leaves and goes to the AFC, Well, not that Seattle was that great, but you're taking another team out of the top tier. And, Dallas is whatever. Dallas is always Dallas. But that immediately puts you in the NFC title picture as the top, if not, one of the tops. I mean, I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do it again, only for.
Yeah, we have to know. Yeah, we have to know who's.
I need that. God forbid it doesn't work, and you're pushing it, a couple of years. You have time and money and
Right
to address the other things to make your team just as good in the years to come, because you have a young quarterback that you're gonna hopefully have for the next 8 years.
Right.
Sleeper scenario: would you guys be okay with signing somebody like Cam Newton, Mariota, Winston to come in and compete with Hurts while we keep all of our picks? Minshew Mania gets us hype, but he isn't winning a Super Bowl either.
None of those guys are winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was going to say, does any of those guys really that much of an upgrade over Minshew?
I mean, I wouldn't.
You could make a case that absolutely each one of them would be, but I just don't know if it's that much to the point where, like, all right, yeah, you know what? We saw Cam. He had some flashes, but overall did not have a great season. Mariota was hurt, which whatever. And Jameis Winston will throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, but he'll also throw for 40 interceptions.
Yeah, none of those moves move my needle. It just, I mean, look, Jameis Winston, I think he's going to go somewhere be a starter. I think there's just enough opportunities out there that he's going to go be a starter somewhere. And so that's what I think is happening with him. The other ones, Cam, Mariota, like I don't know that Cam Newton's even going to be in the league next year. And Mariota, I would assume he'll be able to get some opportunity.
He'll get the same thing. I mean, I think he played great in his role, with Las Vegas. Unfortunately, he just got hurt. I'm just a big Mariota fan. I am too. I like him as well, and I honestly think that it wouldn't be the worst idea to bring in Mariota to do that. I just think you're probably just at the same spot you are.
I mean, yeah, like you said, keep the picks. You can then again, you can still do.
I think the chances the Eagles actually trade any of their draft picks for a quarterback this year is at like a 2%.
Oh yeah, no. If they trade the picks, if they trade any picks at all, I think it's
just to move up, down, or back, back to next year. But yeah, I don't know. These are all. This is why I love the offseason.
This is gonna be fun, man.
This is why I love talking about all the scenarios, all the hey, would you do this? Would you do that? Would you do this? I can't wait. But honestly, y'all, if you guys are anywhere near Berwyn this Saturday, 7:00, Berwyn Tavern live off-season roundtable talking about the free agency, the upcoming free agents, starting on the 14th with the legal tampering period. So we'll be breaking it all down for you, talking about all the free agents that are going to be available, what the Eagles need, what positions they could upgrade, who's out there to maybe upgrade them, and again, what they may do as far as targets versus what they may do for the draft. Because, depending on how things work out in free agency might depend on what you do for, in the draft. We could trade for Ryan's ginger cousin that lives down the road from me. Oh man, I was really hoping we were gonna have to talk about Carson Wentz today.
Come on. Bring Carson back. Bring back the Wentz wagon.
Yeah, bring Carson back to compete with Hurts.
That would be phenomenal. I would love it. Nobody would. They will never do it, but
never do it. But that would be.
Oh, man, could you imagine all of a sudden it's a 5th rounder now traded back to Indy for Carson Wentz?
That would be so funny. Oh man. Well, before I choke from coughing and laughing on that, we're gonna get on out of here, guys. We're at the hour mark. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Special shout out goes to Dylan, my main man out in Indiana. Appreciate you chatting with us, dude. As always, love talking sports with you, bro. Don't forget, guys, Saturday, March the, what is it? 5th?
Oh,
Yeah, March the 5th.
March 5th. Yeah.
This Saturday. Like the next Saturday that will be coming up.
Yes.
March the 5th, 7 o'clock, Berwyn Tavern. We're going to be live talking free agency roundtable. Come on out early. We'll grab a drink. We'll shoot the shit and just having fun.
So Friday night, we're going to hang out and watch the combine, right?
What was that?
Friday night, we're going to hang out and watch the combine, right?
Absolutely. We're going to watch the combine on Friday for sure.
All right.
But yes, don't forget, live Saturday, March the 5th, 7 p.m. Come on out to the Berwyn Tavern in Berwyn, Pennsylvania. We're going to be live talking sports, talking free agency, talking birds. Otherwise, you'll see us on our normal night every Monday at around 6:30, depending, on technical difficulties as we're having a little tonight. Sorry for the lateness, but otherwise, we will see you guys on Saturday. Talk a little birds. Come on out, hang out. Eric's buying beer. So, yeah, if anything, come for that, right?
Whoa. Eric's saving for a house.
Nope, sorry. Beer more important.
Yeah, tell my wife that.
No, thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys on Saturday. If not, we'll see you on our regular scheduled time on Monday. Got anything to add before we get on out of here, Eric?
No.
All right. Gotta love it. We will see you guys Saturday. But that's it for us. Have a great night. So for the Football Smack Talk Show, I'm Ryan.
I'm Eric. Happy football, everybody. Only 192 days to go.
There you go. That's nothing.
Right?
Live football is going to be around the corner, folks. Don't worry.
Hey, USFL's coming up in April. Yay.
Okay. Anyway, on that note, we'll see you
you're
guys.
Not going to do a game with me?
No, thank you. We'll see you guys Saturday at the Berwyn Tavern, 7 p.m.
All right. Go Birds.
Go Birds.